Alright, so here we are at the Crown Tournament of the Outlands. We're doing a little commentator action for you guys to increase accessibility to fighting. We will be focusing on strong and weak points of the fighter, variables of the fight, and just cluing non-fighters into the conversations that we have as fighters. We'll be trying to explain what you're looking at, explaining common dictions such as onside, offside shots, stuff like that. Me and Barekr are going to be doing this together. We're both experienced martial artists and combatants. Barekr comes from a traditional background, and I come from a less traditional background, but we arrived at the same place. So we're going to try to gel and explain what you're seeing a little bit.
Yeah, also seems like something that might be kind of fun and another way for people to engage with fighting and as Torsten was saying, be part of the conversation. So going to try and be educational as much as possible, and also kind of point out different things that people might be able to look for in their own game or look for in their opponents.
Tetsuya challenged Mordigan.
Alright, interesting. So Tetsuya is going to be an interesting one today. Haven't seen a ton of fighting, at least from me. So really interested to see what he brings to the table. Looks like a pretty small round shield, a little bit bigger than a buckler and sword.
Mordigan made the interesting choice of bringing a mace today. It looks like he's going to be fighting mace all day.
I'm kind of excited about that.
Me too.
I'm a fan of the bonker myself.
I would say that Mordigan is likely the most experienced fighter on the list, other than Duke Arton. He's also recently reigned.
One of the more recent royals as well.
Yeah, and Tetsuya is a long-standing fighter, squire to Sir Chinua from Almiron. He's just coming back from kind of a long break. I love his helmet. I wonder if it's really it should be a nice warm-up fight for Mordigan. I wish Tetsuya luck.
So right away, I want to kind of bring up something that I'm always kind of watching, or looking for rather, which is what I'm going to refer to as level. And by level in a fighter, I'm talking about their stance and how tall they stand, how or if their knees are bent. When I talk about level, low versus high, I'm talking about somebody who's standing straight up versus somebody down in an athletic position. I'll see if I have a chance to eat my own words here. Traditionally, Mordigan is a fighter who likes to stand up pretty tall.
He has very long arms.
Long arms, he's already a tall guy.
Yeah, he takes advantage of his physical gifts. See, I think that would have landed with a sword. Nice shot by Tetsuya. He landed with a flat snap above the shield. That was beautiful. He kind of backed out of the little slot shot that you saw him throw on Tetsuya. He backed out, and due to the short nature of the mace weapon, he didn't have the length to land.
Good communication. That's something that this kingdom in particular has been working to improve.
Tetsuya asked to clarify if he had struck Mordigan in the knee, because as most of you know, we're not allowed to aim for the knee or below.
Excellent point, Torsten. Yeah.
Oh, nice wrap to the head. He's going to have to watch getting in close with Mordigan like that. His arms are extremely explosive. You can get right behind your defense and land that wrap.
Yeah, the wrists to the hands and the knees down are out of bounds.
And the hands...
Some nice head movement. That is another thing to note. Great.
Ooh, he faked a little low with his hips. If you saw that, that was a hip fake.
A lot of shoulder as well.
Yeah. So he kind of indicated he was going to shoot low, which brought Tetsuya's guard low, and then he struck him high.
All right. Looks like maybe the wrap that he threw before the leg was good. Yeah, so great first display. A couple of fighters, I think, that we can safely say don't mind fighting in the pocket. There wasn't a whole lot of outside fighting. A lot of that is going to be due to the fact that Mordigan brought a much shorter implements.
Yep.
The bonuses we saw right there, he doesn't have to have blade discipline in any way. He's able to throw those wraps kind of around the defense, and with that small of a shield, it's going to be a struggle to pick stuff up.
Here you're going to see Sir Rolleaf on the left and Lord Yokel on the right. Rolleaf fighting with a Madu, he will probably try to stay out of the pocket, but having fought Rolleaf for over a decade, he is not afraid of fighting in the pocket. He's a very strong, very heavy man.
Something to bring up here is Madu is a fairly new addition to Sir Rolleaf's kit. He's been doing a lot of work on it. I'm really excited to see what he does with it.
I like that His Majesty's marshalling from the get-go.
Yep. All right, good.
Nice little offside. Rolleaf caught him in the eye.
Yep, Rolleaf came over the top. So I like this.
Oh, yeah. So he threw a fake, which raised the defense to blind Yokel, and then when Yokel came to take a peek and reassess his target, that's when Roland threw the true shot.
So what we're seeing right now is Yokel is concerned about the Madu, and he's allowing. Oh, he's pushing here. Good.
Oh, and again, he caught him peeking again.
Yep.
Rolleaf is a very physical fighter, but he has the capability of being a very cerebral fighter.
All right, bringing the Madu into play. I like that. Just not sticking with the same play that worked. Up, and there it is.
There it is. 3 out of 5.
So
well done by Sir Rolleaf.
Bringing it back to the vocabulary conversation. We saw a bunch of offside headshots, right? And so in general, like I like to refer to them to usually as an onside flat snap versus an offside flat snap would usually be to the head in the way that I think about it and talk about it.
And when we say onside, that means that the sword is striking the same side that it is on, and when it is an offside, it is crossing the meridian and striking the other side of the opponent.
Excellent clarification. So we're going to be using that language a lot. So we've got
here we have Sir Felix on the left, who is arguably one of the best glaive tournament fighters in our kingdom.
And another amazing Japanese helmet.
Yep. Oh, and that's Lord Ryu.
Yep.
And this is going to be a nice fight.
We get to see a glaive on glaive right away.
Outlands, baby.
All right, so Felix is one of those that in general you will see has a low level. He's working from a good, balanced, wide power stance. He's pretty strong.
His point control is insane, but Ryu's is pretty good.
Yep.
So this could go quickly from a spear dueling match. But if one of them doesn't land quickly, you'll see Felix jump in right there, just like that, for that butt spike in the chin. That was a double kill.
Yep. Ryu threw a bit of a snap to the onside. I'm going to call onside the right side, I guess, in this case.
If they're right-handed fighters.
Yep. Right hand power forward on the glaive.
What's this? It's a little. Want to do a little modified type.
Really excellent block, but as Torsten was saying, Felix's point control is good enough that even with the roll block from Ryu, the stab landed on the bicep.
Yeah, I love watching Felix work. He transitions from that far spear style to that up in your face, chopping and hip tossing and butt spiking. Right there it was again.
Excellent.
As soon as he goes up to the high guard, he knows he has it.
A keen observer will also notice that he didn't even really have to move his feet there. He let Ryu walk into him, he maintained good structure, and just butt spiked him. Just don't have to make it too complicated.
It's beautiful. My favorite glaive fight I've ever seen of all time was Felix versus Sir Pai. Oh,
Sirpai is another excellent blade fighter. Oh,
There it was.
again, excellent block initially, but Felix is quick.
Yeah, and his angles are amazing. Yeah, this will be fun. We'll have Sir Adrian of Monster Hall on the right and Sir Zachariah Decane on the left. The sword of the Lord.
One of his nicknames around here. Another vocabulary word I'm going to want to be talking about and looking at is the idea of range. Go ahead and wait for the introductions. But by range, I don't mean are you in or out of range. I'm talking about the distance between the fighters at which you will see them get into their real ready stance. I'm sure we've all seen the person who's got kind of their stance or their pose, if you will, and you watch it kind of tighten up at a certain space.
Adrian brought a Madu. That's
I'm not used to seeing it all.
atypical of her. She's usually a shield fighter.
She's a squared up hip fighter. That probably comes from a lot of shield work.
Yeah, and her years in Kaid, the West Coast, has a much more squared off stance usually.
Sir Zachariah is no stranger to fighting Madus. You notice he's got both of his hands out. He's basically forcing his opponent to do something before he's really going to be able to comfortably stab. We saw right there, out of range.
Ooh, that was a good wrap. Zach's throwing thunder today.
Something I want to talk about with Zachariah specifically is he's a very off-timed fighter. You'll notice things where many other fighters would throw a little faster or shoot the gap a little faster. He'll wait and he'll sail it in, and he gets a lot of things in after somebody thinks they already missed.
Yeah, he's hard to predict. He's a very seasoned fighter with. Look at that off body. Beautiful.
Yeah, that was a great transition from one to the other. I was totally taken in by his body mechanics. I thought he was going to the onside, popped out from behind that shield. Excellent offside.
Yeah. And I would like the viewers to know that all of these combatants are fighting in 33-degree weather right now.
Good point.
That's why you'll see a lot of cloaks and furs.
Excellent defense. Adrian's keeping her tools inside.
Yes!
Top
Beautiful
spike.
top spike.
I gotta call it out. We don't get to see them often. I love seeing them throwing in the left hook to the ribs. You might have seen a wrap kind of come around behind Adrian, but what you might not have seen that we can see is that the basket hilt of Zachariah's sword kind of bottomed out on her shield, taking all the power out of it. So a lot of times when a sword blow looks like it lands, knowledge of the power behind it helps. A little short stroke inside slot.
He's looking sharp.
Good Madu fight.
He's looking sharp.
Yeah.
I look forward to seeing Zach fight more again today. And here is Count Venuman, who's a recent transplant to our kingdom within the last couple of years. I find him to be inconsistently great.
Excellent fighter.
Yeah.
It really does depend on the day, though. Sometimes he'll come out and just
I've seen him
whacker through you.
I've seen him absolutely destroy dudes better than me, and I've bested him, and it's just kind of a depends on the day, but you can't count him out of anything. He's a man killer.
Hockrell is excellent with range, what I was talking about. He knows the length of his weapons.
He's a master of defense.
Yes, he's a master of defense. Very excellent in the rapier community. Another one that, like, some days he'll kill everybody. Some days
You'll see Venuman right there. I'm a little worried about that Madu.
tied up a little bit. That is something. Okay.
Nice.
All right. Looks like
Nice. He put the pressure on and never let up. He crowded inside the range of the Madu and started throwing diverse shots at different quadrants of the body. And that put Hockrell out of his safe space, and he took advantage. That was a really good fight. you got to watch Hawk because his footwork is impeccable and his angles, and as Barekr was saying, his range is just second to none.
He has, on some occasions, struggled with the hard push, as you can see here. Like, I like it.
Decided to take it. He tickled his ribs with that Monty shot, I think.
He said, hey, your shield's not there. Benjamin's been fighting for a long time, too. And some of the cultures that he comes from, they look for a lot of cleanliness in the shot. It's got to come through without really touching the shield.
That wasn't enough on the shoulder.
As you can see, Hawk was kind of backing up. So he's throwing at the same time he's backing up, which pulls a lot of the power out. There's a poke.
Yeah, it kind of relies on your opponent to chase you to have any real stick to the shot.
Excellent movement.
Yeah, this is the most competitive fight I've seen yet.
I think what we just saw is Hawk demonstrating his athleticism and competitorship to figure out what he needed to do, which is give himself a little bit more.
Oh, he's still trying to land those tops.
I think Benjamin's wondering if it was the shield at the top spike.
Yep, that got him. Good communication.
Way to stay calm in the pocket there, Hawk.
Yep.
Excellent fighting between both combatants.
That was really impressive for Benjamin because of his. He doesn't have as wide a breadth of experience against Madu fights, being where he's from. They're very prevalent in the Outlands, probably.
Also, a small strap shield presents some unique challenges when dealing with somebody with 3 or more ways to kill you.
Yeah.
Ask me how I know.
His shield's also interesting because I can't think of another competitive fighter that I'm aware of in our kingdom that uses that shape of shield. With that, it's like the strap D or whatever.
Yeah, they call it a bunny round.
A bunny round. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
No, so a couple of things I wanted to touch on just to swing back around now that we have classroom time. So the idea of level with stance, right, up and high. I think if you go back and look at that footage, you'll find a lot of fighters that are standing either straight up or close to it.
You'll see them kind of squatted down with bended knees and hunched over. Both give you advantages when you're standing up high, like how Mordigan was. He knows he's taller. He knows his arms are longer. He knows that will supply him with more diverse angles of attack that will land past or above most people's defenses. But then you see guys like Zach who will squat to deceive you into not understanding where his feet are or what his range is or any of that. And he can also quickly change angles.
And that's the point I wanted to touch on, is the one thing that standing high doesn't help you with is lateral movement through the fight. It requires you to make a balance change in order to get your chassis moving in the right way. The lower your center of gravity is and the better your feet are placed in a little bit wider stance, allow you to make those split-second transitions through space much more quickly.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much. So with range, like I was saying, we didn't get a whole lot of stuff to see with regards to each fighter, but we did see Hawk kind of struggle to keep at the range that he was comfortable with against Benjamin for the first fight and about halfway through the second fight. And then he really started to understand what he needed to do to roll to the left or the right, maintain a little bit of that pocket, and get his shots through. Zach, another excellent example of somebody who he was kind of always at the range that he wants, and he's also very decisive when he decides it's time to jump. You kind of saw him feel out that middle range B, you might call it, and that might be a good thing. You want to talk about ABC?
Yeah. So you'll often hear fighters refer to A range, B range, and C range. For things like top spikes and Mordigan's mace, you want to be in A range, which is right up front, chest to chest, in the pocket, as we say. B range is kind of your ideal flat snap range for sword length weapons.
Yep.
And then C range is where you saw Felix kind of living and Rolleaf kind of starting out at. It's like long Madu pokes, long spear pokes, just outside of effective sword range. Really, you have to lean and thrust to get the sword active in C.
And moving into this fight here, we're seeing that, in a lot of ways, Mordigan is basically giving up C range due to his tool choice. Right?
To have a great advantage in A range.
Yeah, he's basically said, I'm not going to fight you if you're far away. My shield's big enough that I can stand where I need to stand, and once you decide to get close enough, I'm going to hit you with this. And you can see kind of those are thumb leader inside shots, right? He's rolling, he's hitting.
What got him there.
I don't know if the camera will be able to pick this up very well, but those aren't shots like this across the knuckle. He's rolling this way. It would be a totally flat shot with a sword, but the mace has omnidirectional striking, so he can roll in this way with his hands close to his body, and you can see he can work inside very easily. And this is Yokel?
Yes.
Yeah. Got to see him fight for the first time on Saturday, so I'm not sure how long he's been around, but really
he's
excited.
excitable. He fought in the last crown.
Interesting. So he did an interesting roll across the top of Mordigan's shield there, and I heard some strike on the top of the helmet, but obviously just a very glancing roll across the top. But it was a nice attempt, something that I see a lot of guys doing, and gals and whatnot, is they're not putting snap into their wraps. Their arm stays extended, and they try to. Oh wow,
that's hard to like Mordigan. One of the things I want to point out about Mordigan is how subtle his shield work is.
Right in the kidney.
Yep, and then right down the nose.
Yep. And I think I misspoke. It's the kidney if the chest piece was matching where the belt is, but I think that was actually further down on the butt. An interesting thing to note, this is something that is going to probably come up a lot, and a lot of people don't know, is that hips and shoulders with a mass weapon are actually kills, whereas with a sword, they're just a limb loss. And that's an education issue, so really try hard to not get frustrated. Well taken.
That was well taken. And a lot of people don't acknowledge or just don't straight up know that even though it's tiny, a mace is a mass weapon.
Yes, a mace is a one-handed mass weapon. All right.
Oh, he's bringing out the greatsword. Cool. Look at Tetsuya. Okay, this will be an interesting fight. I have great success against Madu fighters with greatswords.
That's kind of a school of thought.
I've never seen Tetsuya fight with a greatsword, so we'll see what he chooses to do.
It looks like it's well used.
It does.
For what it's worth.
It does. That's a good sign.
Hawk is looking crisp. We'll see how he does with the more power blows. He's a strong, wiry guy.
Yeah.
And he's a great competitor. That's something that a lot of people don't really factor in a lot of times in these types of situations. People talk about high energy and high intensity situations.
Oh, look at his shoulder chambering. He barely moved his arms for that.
Yep. He's very tight. He's taut. Ooh, took the arm, but a lightning fast stab right to between the eyes.
Yep.
Beautiful.
Yep.
Good understanding of range. He doesn't want to take a bunch of great sword shots to the forearm, though. That's going to
cost him in this grueling tournament.
Yes.
For sure.
We got best 3 out of 5, best 4 out of 7
for the finals.
Pretty atypical.
Yeah.
For this type of tournament.
Double elimination at below 35 degrees. Oh, that flat snap.
Wow.
Beautiful fight.
Okay, so right there, right back to it, range. Okay, Hawk is comfortable. This is maybe one of the problems that Tetsuya is dealing with is Hawk's comfortable in the range Tetsuya needs to be to swing. Hawk's got long limbs. He's got a Madu that he's very good with. And so he's happy to sit out there, keep his defense tight. He has one thing to track, and then look for the opening.
And as soon as Tetsuya threw his shot, it cleared the angle.
You see Tetsuya kind of pull his front foot in as soon as Hawk got close enough that he was like, okay, maybe I'm going to go. So we can watch. His hips are relaxed. He's walking forward. Hawk is not changing at all. He is up on his toes. He is completely engaged. He knows that once he decides which side of that sword to go in, then it is go time. So he's just going to wait and see what Tetsuya wants to do, right?
Tetsuya's being smart. He's being patient.
Yep.
He's staying out of C range like we talked about.
And there's the A. There's the jump.
Took the arm. Oh, but he got the kill. That was the reverse that time.
Okay.
Hawk landed the arm shot on Tetsuya, and Tetsuya got the kill.
So, excellent example of two different styles. The only issue that I really saw there was once he decided he was going for the kill, Hawk got a little bit high up and started reaching around and didn't stay over his feet and wasn't able to turn and reallocate his blocks. There's the switch.
He threatens with the point to keep Hawk at bay. Oh, tried for the control and failed. Oh, but he got him. Got him.
That's a song as old as time. Anybody... It's too bad we aren't streaming. We could say how many great swords in the chat. Anybody that's a great weapons aficionado knows that most of our goal is to try and tie you up one way or the other, and then we're going to shoot the other way while you try to recover.
Yep. And that was the birth of my famous spin shot, was out of sheer need, because people learned that if you could take control of that mass weapon, you could run me down and club me.
Yeah.
And the last thing they expect is for you to spin. It's the only way to get your shot. Like get a good angle of shot with that weapon is to free it completely and be fast enough to bring it around to the other side.
Who do we got? Ryu
and Rolleaf.
Double R. All right, so Rolleaf is also demonstrating his proficiency with multiple weapon styles. He's an experienced guy. He's a strong athlete. He was a football player.
He was in college. So you saw his explosive force forward. And Rolleaf and I come from the...
Oh, he blew a blade.
Yeah.
Where's your Thomas strip?
That's legitimately what it's for, is for cold weather fighting.
Yeah.
So due to the cold nature of the day, the adhesive on the tape is going to be struggling.
Where are we at in frame here? Should we reallocate?
No, he's fine. Okay. That was it was like last quarter. So what you saw there was Rolleaf's experience against Glaive. I fought only Glaive for years, and we trained together extensively in the same small shire. So
you also saw some excellent head defense from Ryu.
Yeah. No, look at him. His point control is very impressive. Oh, he tried for that thunderous butt spike.
Switching back and forth.
Oh, almost. Nope, that got him. Rolly took it. Good call.
Well taken.
Good. So he landed a shot on Ryu there after he got struck, and then recognized told Ryu not to take the blow that landed on him because he should have already taken it.
And I want to re-emphasize this point. That kind of interaction is the way to keep this game as good as possible, right? Like, your honor means more than the win. And what I am seeing is more people more interested in the win than the activity that we're doing.
Oh, and he audible to the Madu now.
Which I love seeing this, and you almost never do.
Switching
mid-bout.
Look, now Ryu has a different set of problems to work through. That's a cerebral move.
However,
Ryu also has
Ryu has better point control than Rolleaf is giving him credit for, in my opinion.
I agree. I would agree. But Rolleaf's been training a lot with Sir Alexander. And Ryu messed up. I would have gone point first.
Point first.
Oh, there was the thrust. Glanced off. Good communication. There it was to the head. Yep, there's the double tap.
There's the off.
Yep. Felt light to Rolly, so he threw a second one to make sure.
That was good communication. It looked a little fuzzy just because I think Ryu hesitated. He thought maybe he was going to take the thrust. There was nothing on it. Rolleaf had no problem with it. They kept fighting through. That's okay.
I think Ryu's not going point first because he's afraid of getting controlled and ran down like how Hawk did.
He did just watch.
Tetsuya.
How many glaives is this? 3?
3
in the tourney?
Yeah, I believe so.
It's too bad Ronan's not in here.
Or me. I wish I could fight today. It's good fighting weather.
Oh yeah, it's not good sitting.
It's not good
still
sitting weather. Ooh, the one strike.
Okay.
Okay, so that was blocked by the Marshal / Her Majesty.
So,
but what happened was he wrapped Ryu around the back and the butt. He took the leg and went down, and then Rolleaf controlled that point and found a good angle to strike his head from above. It is really hard to break your weapon free once Rolleaf gets a hold of it. He's incredibly strong.
Incredibly strong. All right, let's see what Ryu does.
He put him on his heels. Put him on his heels.
Yep.
Okay, so Rolleaf has learned to respect it.
Notice he's lining up a little bit further away.
Interesting. Oh, Yep, sunk it on the eye while he was wrestling with the other hand.
Yep.
Beautiful.
Very, very quick exchanges here. We're seeing pretty decisive action from these fighters. Thank you. Once they decide to go, they decide to go, and that's another thing that I would want to call out to the teachers and the upper level fighters who are currently going to practice and fighting in tournaments. That's a part of the culture because that's what people are doing. It contributes to a lot of unnecessary losses if you can't step back once plan A hasn't worked or reallocate. I spent the better part of my career being one of those fighters that once I decided it was time to go to A range, one of us was walking out of the cage. And it got me a lot of success with people who were easily daunted. But again, against any kind of caliber fighter, you need the ability to reassess and reallocate, or you're going to see a plateau, and there's a certain level of fighter you're never going to get past.
This is going to be a good fight
Very
between
interesting
Benjamin
fight.
and Zach. They have very
I'm not
antithetical
sure what
styles.
Zach is going to do with being pushed that heavily. We'll see.
We'll see how he reacts to it. Benjamin has a good high energy, high pressure style. Usually he'll come in and try to keep that pressure on and dictate the tempo, but Zach is very reactive. Zach also gave a very good showing earlier, so Benjamin might be a little cautious of it. It doesn't look like he's
something
in a
I've
rush to
noticed
run
with
in there.
Benjamin is he really doesn't. You're not seeing too much different from fight to fight. It's just where his connection with his body is. He will zig when he should have zagged just as often as the other way around, but he doesn't stop fighting, which gets him a lot of W's.
Yes, it does.
There's a lot of kind of testing the waters.
He's got great nice block on the leg there. Oh, he ducked out of it. That was great.
Beautiful defense here.
Oh, good wrap. Good wrap.
And it was that off-time wrap that I'm talking about from Zach, right?
Yep.
Like
He thought he had
was
the block and
already
dropped it.
past it in his mind. I don't think I saw anything that looked weird on either way.
No, that looked great. That was a great
communication. What we just saw there, if you couldn't hear it, was they were just checking with each other. How did all that feel? That is something that you're going to get with Benjamin fights in particular. Is he has a lot of power,
Look at
and
how relaxed Zach is.
He comes in big swoops. I do love how relaxed Zach is.
Look at him fighting like a rogue. There you go. Now he's set.
Just testing the waters.
Beautiful shot.
A lightning strike from B range, I should say. This is nice too, because
Caught
this
him
gives us
wiggling.
an example of a really nice B range fighter, or B range fight. Both of these fighters are fine in A range, but you can tell they kind of prefer sword fighting rather than thugging it out.
They want to gunsling, not wrestle.
Benjamin is down to thug it out, but he'd rather gunsling for sure. So I want to watch their feet. Okay, Zach is very in line. He's almost close to like an Olympic fencing almost when he's really in there. His feet are together. Benjamin's in a little bit of a box. I don't know if you saw that. That was a really nice little switch.
Caught that leg.
That was a power generation trick that Benjamin pulled off there. Doing a switch out in front of him, and he can throw it incredibly quickly.
See, and you see Benjamin still in the fight, wiggling his sword, and Zach's just letting him gas himself a
Yep.
little bit before engaging.
Make those thighs burn a little bit.
Oh, glanced up. I see.
Yeah, it didn't.
It was loud, but you could tell he didn't even wince.
It was a J hook.
Yep.
Came upwards, right? So Benjamin's got a nice padded gambus in there. It'll make a big paff sound
Yep.
for sure.
I love how these guys are communicating. This is a great fight. Zach is looking sharp. Benjamin's looking sharp.
I'm not going to lie. When I was looking at the spread this morning, I kind of thought this might be one of our possible finals.
Oh, Benjamin's one of my wild card picks for sure, along with Hawkeye.
Yeah, I'm very interested to see how this day goes.
My top wild card pick will probably be Felix, but that'll be dictated on how people handle the glaive. I've only seen him fight another glaive guy, and he excels in that arena. So we'll see how he handles some of these guys' shields and lives.
Not sure if that was joking or everybody seems to be okay. That is one of the things. That's the oath they took this morning, was to judge their own blows correctly. And
his turnaround from offside to flat snap is
tell
good.
me about it, brother. I've been fighting him at fighter practice.
It's good. It reminds me of you. That turnaround's quick.
Huzzah for chivalry!
Huzzah!
Oh, Benjamin was not willing to allow his opponent to fall to that paltry blow. Huzzah. I love old
It's like,
school.
I can give you something better than that.
Please.
Oh, almost with the haymaker.
That was a
Look
beautiful...
at Zach, dude, fighting on his back like Tamiki.
That was a beautiful stab
More
that
decisive.
Zach threw right away, and really, more luck than anything, he hit the flat of Benjamin's sword.
Oh! Twist
not
ending.
sure.
They communicated, and he asked if Zach made contact because he wasn't sure, and Zach told him he did.
Huzzah!
Good communication. Well taken.
This is exactly what we want to see.
Yep. Friendly communication to clear up misunderstandings.
Yep. Between two good fighters. Here's the thing. It doesn't matter.
This is taking it out of Zach a little bit.
Yep.
He's having to give him a gas.
And that's something I figured we'd start touching on in round 3 or 4, which is the unspoken elephant in the room, which is there's a lot more fighting in this tournament format than normal.
3 out of 5. Double elimination.
Double elimination. So you, even if you win all 3 right away by round 4, you will have fought 9 bouts, and that's not
At
an
35
insignificant
degrees
amount
in the wind.
of time. Yeah.
This is a grueling tournament. This is probably the most grueling situational crown I've seen.
That's what he got that for me. No, I'm just joking. That was beautiful, though. So right there, what we saw was one of the biggest glaring deficiencies of the round and the oval. That turnaround from Benjamin. Granted, it's pretty rare to see somebody who's quite that quick with it. He's very experienced. But it is really hard to deal with if you don't have corners, because you can skirt the inside edge and then the outside edge, and if you do any kind of movement one way or the other, he's got enough room with that speed.
Okay. Adrian was smart to bring the shield this round. I would say Felix is probably still going to have the advantage with that teardrop. We'll see how he does against that. I don't know how often he's fought against teardrop shields.
I'm sure he's fought Uhtred once or twice.
That's true, but that's a sharper teardrop on the bottom than Uhtred's, I feel. That's skinny. If I was fighting her against Glaive, I'd be trying to fake high and go for the legs.
Fair.
We'll see if Felix follows that.
What do you think about, more specifically, kind of what Felix is doing? Does he switch his hands? Does he go left hand forward sometimes?
Sometimes he does, yeah. He's like me. He prefers his left hand back so he can get the power on the chops.
Okay.
But he's equally deadly with his point control with both hands. You're half out of frame on the right, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
You can scoot in.
Adrian is a strong fighter, and she's got good defense. She sometimes struggles with the range management. She lets her opponents do good
Almost took that arm.
defense,
Almost
staying
took that
close,
arm.
staying close.
Good block. She doubled up on that head chop. That was beautiful.
Center.
Deflected.
Oh.
Oh, missed to the butt spike.
You see, she went for that wrap, but she was planning.
Oh, he threaded the needle.
She was planning for where Felix was going to go, and he wasn't there. And what we saw was the follow-through on that shot was so much that by the time she turned back around, she couldn't bring her weapon back to bear. So think about that, making assumptions. Felix is one of those who can move his feet, and he can move it quickly and in the fight because he's low. Look at where his knees are at,
He's
look where his hands are at.
athletic.
So he can make those split-second decisions.
Nice. Oh, with the double tap to the head. Oh, that was gorgeous.
I believe in the business we call that authoritative.
Yeah.
An excellent
Decisive.
double wrap, channeling McBain a little bit there with the wrap to the ribs into the wrap to the side of the head.
Yep.
Great to see.
I've been hit with that. I can't remember it.
Yeah. I drank a lot afterwards.
Ooh, nice
Great.
Adrian. Oh, and then the chop down.
Well, it was the butt spike. Yeah. We couldn't see it because his back was to us, but basically so there was a lot that happened there, and actually I encourage anybody who is watching this video, go slow that down and look at what Felix just did. He went from a corkscrew fake flat snap into a head chop. As he was being pushed, it looked like a third head chop, and he just dropped the left hand forward with that butt spike and then followed it with another chop. So even if that chop wasn't good, he had a backup plan. He was staying over his feet. You should watch that.
Yeah. Rule number 3, never stop fighting.
100%.
No, it was beautiful.
My friend, stand ready.
Adrian looks like she's about that business right now.
Yep, she's very focused.
She is catching some beautiful throws. Oh, yeah.
Right off the top, real
kinda-
stingy.
Yep, he figured it
feels
out.
it.
He
He
figured
feels
it
it.
out. The shot came in the snail mail.
Boom!
This is great.
This is some awesome
I am
fighting.
very impressed with Adrian Shieldberg. She is catching those thrusts on the very edge of her
the
shield
pressing.
and just trusting it. She's trusting it. She knows she caught the block. She keeps on moving. This is good.
Stand ready.
So I'm interested to see what Felix does here. Looks like he's going to do the same thing, kind of.
Oh, he's trying to thread the needle again.
He's working some laterals. She's not letting her.
Ooh, that. I'm telling you, man. Oh, it's a double!
Huzzah!
I'm telling you, his butt spike gets as many kills as any other part of his weapon.
You can see from kind of the set of how she's standing, Adrian's getting a little more tired. I'm not seeing kind of any difference in Felix right now.
Felix's big problem, like me, is overheating. So he's actually, you'll notice
He's loving having a 32-degree
He's
weapon.
loving it. You'll notice he doesn't have furs or a cloak on. He wants this. Good, good. You saw Felix try to get a better angle. Nope, no, that glanced off. He didn't have it.
Yeah, it had a weird thud to it.
Yeah,
Anyway.
I think her weapon might have been like interfering with his bottom hand for that chop. Look at that little deflect off the hilt.
Yeah.
Great. Oh, he tried to superhero land on
That
his
looked
head.
like it kind of came down along the side of her head.
Look at how fluid he moves that glaive in his hands.
Yep,
He
he's
is so
comfortable.
comfortable.
He's connected with his weapon.
I don't know if I've ever seen him fight with any other weapon.
That's true. Although he will pull that back up sometimes.
Yeah.
That's my secret hope.
she
Is
lost her grip
that
there.
I hope that I get to watch him
Hail
pull that back
chivalry.
up.
She lost her grip on her weapon and nobody called hold and he just backed up and let her reset. So that's cool.
Which is okay.
No, that's great. That's what I like to see.
There it is.
There's that needle.
So I certainly wasn't hoping for this outcome because I want everybody to be successful today. But what we saw there was a good example of if you let someone dictate, eventually, you let somebody dictate the terms of the fight. Eventually, things are going to go their way.
If they're writing the
and-
story, they get to choose the ending.
And we saw a couple of really good pushes from Adrian where she was able to get the kill by controlling the fight. But any of the times where she tried to stand at range, Felix was able to dial in where he needed to dial in and get it done. So
That was such an amazing fight, though. Good showing by Adrian.
great job by everyone.
We're back. Well, I'm back. Down to the final 6. That was decisive. All right, this is going to be a really interesting fight for me, simply because, like I said, I'm not sure how much experience Venuman has against an outlandish glaive. And as one of the guys in that conversation, I would say that Felix would be my pick for top tournament glaive fighter. He has the best butt spike in the business. His range control is great. He will bait Venuman into coming in and probably try to land another butt spike. We'll see how Venuman's shield work will counter that. Whew. Yep. It was just a matter of trapping that glaive, and he was within range. Venuman has good speed, thunderous power. He's very, very confident in his shield. Nice duck. Nice little Toro. Yep, with the side, the passing C shot.
Second victory, Felix. Stand you prepared.
Felix is very, very good at baiting you into rushing him, and if he doesn't think he can land that butt spike, if you're turtled up and blind, he will sidestep like what he just did and try to catch you where you're not defended. Oh, he's just trying to power through that glaive there. Butt spike attempt. Yep, Benjamin puts that pressure on and doesn't give up. Oh, look at the chivalry here. Double. Good communication. He didn't realize that that Felix had given him a little pop with the glaive blade. But he's really cool about if you can communicate to him that he missed something, he will take it back and be a man of honor.
I got a blanket. Sorry for my absence.
I'm almost slightly jealous.
We can unfold it one more time.
I think they're 1-1 right now. There's another good shot by Felix. He's doing great with his glaive today. I'm happy to see it.
Stand you prepared.
I would right here poke high and try to go for that sweeping C shot to the leg, but I don't know. That's not really Felix's way.
He is a bit of a head hunter.
Oh, there's that butt spike in the face again. Let's see if he saw it or not.
It might have been a little high.
Maybe he missed it. Ooh.
And it did look
Another double. These boys are going to be tired.
Another thing to
That's
keep
the
in mind.
second double. They doubled while you were gone, too.
Stand you prepared. Stand you prepared.
Oh, with that flat snap. He's digging for that butt spike. Well, he almost took it and decided no.
I think it was a little low, maybe.
See there?
Not enough power.
I don't think Benjamin is seeing the butt spikes is the thing. I think he might be flinching and not realizing what it is that's pushing his head.
They also could be a little high because his eye level is right at the top.
And he's
of
very,
his
very
open.
proactive at ducking. He has a very boxer style where he'll
And it's
slip
not,
with his head.
and it's not positive pressure to the top of the helmet with a
Right, it has to
stab.
land,
It has to
land.
land.
Oh, he went for it again. He's just Ooh, he tried to catch him walking out. Thunderous hammer blow.
Fourth victory, Benjamin.
2-2.
Are you prepared? Are you prepared?
By the numbers of kills and doubles, this is the most competitive fight yet.
And also the most grueling. Another double. We shouldn't be laughing. This sucks.
Yeah, it sucks for them.
It's awesome though. It's
Looks
great
great
to
from
see
where
so
I'm
much
sitting.
fighting. I'm kind of digging this tournament
Having
format.
more issues with that elbow.
Tie better not this time.
If you can't tie a knot, tie a lot.
That was my plan.
The old wisdom.
What are you trying to say?
Everything we learned from sailors.
Sir Knight, standing prepared.
Let's see where it goes. These guys are both a little gassed now.
Yeah, and we're gonna see probably a little bit different fight.
Look at Felix being pensive.
Although I think we're always gonna see a moment where Benjamin tries to go for the kill. It's just kind of his style.
Yep, 100%.
You kind of have to be that way. He can't sit and weather blow after blow with that tool set. It's a small shield.
Nice block, Felix. Nice deflect, Felix.
Not quite enough. He's not chambering enough. Oh, okay. Yeah.
Beautiful
Well
back
taken.
and then followed by a butt
Well
spike.
taken.
What a
Well
great fight.
taken.
Fifth victory to Felix.
Well fought. Well
Yeah.
fought. to...
Oh, is this Morty versus Zach?
Both.
It is.
Okay, this is going to be a very interesting fight for a lot of reasons. These guys know each other very, very well.
Very well. They go way back.
They've been fighting for a long time.
Since
The
they were
last time we
kids.
saw a showdown like this was actually for Sir Beatrice's Queen's Champion tournament, which got pretty grueling, but there was a couple of bouts between Morgan and Zach who really wanted it. This will be exciting whatever way it goes.
Interesting that Morgan still chose the mace. He might regret that later. We'll see. Zach's tiny.
It's
He has
never
to get-
regrettable to bring the mace, brother.
Okay, Chief.
Don't drop the chief on me. All right, let's move right past that.
Okay, Pasha.
I was gonna share my blanket with you. I should throw this just across your head.
That's what I guess. Yeah, I'm doing all right now. You're a great windbreak right now.
Perfect.
I do like Morgan's new helmet. I bet he has way better breath and way better visibility. For
looks
those
really
that don't
good, too.
know, I love the squirrel crest too.
The squirrel-crested warrior.
Yeah, dude. But Morgan is known for fighting his entire life in the most
Great
closed face helms.
All right, so you can see already, Zach's pretty comfortable, pretty close. He knows what he's looking for from Morgan, and he's not too worried that he can't pick it up. So we've got a little bit of testing shots here.
Ooh,
Beautiful.
look at that beautiful block.
Blocked and threw on the inside and just took the bicep out of the mace arm. So Morgan will switch out to left-handed mace.
Left-handed sword.
Oh, okay.
So he doesn't have to mess with his gauntlets.
Smart. That'll be interesting. He should just keep it. He gets his arm back and just go sword and mace.
They're both relatively explosive. Zach's sword work is a lot more finesse.
Yes.
Look at that angle on that hip shot. Beautiful. Look at him. He's comfortable. Yep. Right in the ribs.
And lends a helping hand. What a chivalrous guy. He doesn't need pants.
Doesn't need pants with all those manners. Blame my blanket. You can see the hunger on Morgan though. He wants to give him a thump.
Yep. He wants to get one. So again, let's talk about it, right? Zach is much lower.
Ooh, nice block on the out, Morgan.
Zach is in a much lower position. Can I sit this here? Sure.
Oh, he caught it.
Interesting.
He got it. Sure.
Morgan likes to use his angle advantage, but Zach is traditionally one of the shorter fighters, at least around these parts, and so he's no stranger to dealing with death from above.
Yeah, and he has great dexterity saves.
So it doesn't really give Morgan a lot of advantage being that tall. He's got good explosive power. Those blacksmith strikes, his little hammer blows, they're almost like a slot on a 45. So he can just he wants to just walk in, get close enough.
Look at how fast his shield is.
Beautiful pull across.
He saw that he fell for a classic blunder and still got the pick block.
That offside from Zachariah is something that you usually should be looking for, though.
Yeah. There it was.
So again, I want to talk about level. Because Zachariah spends so much time low, those rare times when he does stand up, you're not ready for his wrap to come all the way around
And he
to the
will
back.
jump. I don't think either of his feet were on the ground when that landed. He'll explode upward. Come above your defense and land a shot from above, which you never expect from him.
It behooves him to kind of get you thinking that he's a little smaller than he even is. But it also lets him generate power for those really pretty shots we were talking about. And again, we're seeing the same. Morgan wants that arm.
Incidental block. Good, good.
Really good back and forth shoulder movement from Zachariah.
Ooh, that. keeps throwing that overhand right thrust. It hasn't landed yet, but it is pretty.
Look at how relaxed Zach is on his feet, right? As he moves, they just kind of, each one is placed and relaxed. You can see that Mordigan is a little more frenetic when he moves his feet when he wants to reposition.
Oh, he just bonked him, came right through.
Gave him the old whack.
with the tip heavy nature of the mace, you don't need to chamber or generate as much force usually, and especially when you're a guy like Mordigan who is a blacksmith and is incredibly strong, you can just kind of land it with no telegraphing, very little wind up, and you could tell that caught Zach off guard. Oh, there's the finesse I was talking about.
And the thing there is Mordigan didn't move. He was comfortable.
Yep.
He knew that he could block it, and so he got flat on his feet. He got sedentary, and he let Zachariah throw an uncontested combo. And we saw the result.
Here we got Master Hawk Roll.
All right.
At Rolleaf, like I said, there's Rolleaf's shield coming out. You're about to see him with his best form again. He's warmed up. You see he ditched the cloak.
Yep.
This will be a very interesting fight. They're kind of antithetical.
Little bit of David and the Giant going on.
Yeah.
No, I like seeing. I like seeing the differences of styles here. It's going to be interesting. It's a game of patience. Again, for Madu in general, but definitely for Hawk, range becomes a very important thing.
Yeah, Roland also in that small shire that we came up in and learned how to fight in, Duke Bolslav lives there, who is arguably one of the better Madu fighters out there. But we'll see if he can
Sideboard.
copy you. And we'll see if those old lessons are still fresh in his mind. Hawkgirl has some similarities to his fighting style to Bolslav. So let's see if that'll behoove Rolleaf or not. This could go either way. That's Hawk flinching, trying to judge whether or not Rolleaf can catch the blocks or if the bite fakes or not. Ooh, he reached for that top spike and just came short. Oh, he landed it. Here we go again. Let's see if Rolleaf learned.
So they're floating between C and B here.
Yep.
Which, again, from before, Hawk wants to be in C. He feels like he's got all the room to work in the world. As soon as he sees Rolleaf move, he can instantly bail out. Rolleaf, that was an interesting move.
Oh, and there's that offside though. All that fancy work for nothing.
I like the attempt.
That was an interesting back blade.
Yeah, he was hoping that Rolleaf would bite, I think, on something low, and Rolleaf just threw instead. So that's a gamble sometimes you make. And
I think he's finding that out. He keeps throwing these little poke fakes and Rolleaf's a wall.
Yeah.
He's not flinching, he's preparing. Oh, he threaded that needle though.
Accuracy trumps that.
And I pointed out earlier in the fight that Rolleaf has a lot of experience fighting Bolslav, Hawk has a lot of similarities to.
Yes, there is a lot of parallels there, I would say.
Great footwork, great range mitigation. He's got to watch that window in front of his face, though. Hawk will land it.
Interestingly, I mean, I wouldn't necessarily expect Rolleaf to be so comfortable just standing out and gunfighting, but he is. He's definitely allocated on that Madu.
I think that Roland is focusing heavily on economy of motion for the later rounds.
Yes, which is very smart.
Endurance has been an issue for him in the past. He's in pretty
Excellent
good shape right now.
movement from Hawk. You see him
he just
did a giant loop around and ended up back in the middle,
right where he wanted
controlling the ring. He's got all the room to move. He's dynamic. It's not really wearing Rolleaf down, however.
Not necessarily. He's looking strong.
Yep. Rolleaf does look a little bit like he's not sure what he wants to do.
Ooh, that was a brutal
shoulder shot.
But he's maintaining his defensive center and just trying to move forward and feel it out. It's a good tactic when you're not sure what your opponent is bringing to the table. Just keep your defense center, watch their tools, and try to get them to teach you what they're about. It's a lot harder to do that when you only have one sword. Love it.
Yep.
Love it. Very, very low energy, high percentage chance that you're going to do it. Didn't give Rolleaf even a chance to step in and swing.
So here we'll get to see the first destructive buy. That's another interesting twist that is atypical for an Outlands Crown.
That buys are destructive.
So the Warlord, his Lordship Vogren, will be coming out and fighting a destructive buy against Duke Mortigan.
Fighting for the honor of Thunderhead.
These are gonna.
Gotta get my whoopee. 1 round 3. So Felix is clean.
Felix is clean with a glaive.
Rolleaf. Felix is clean with a glaive. Let's say that one more time.
Felix is clean with a glaive.
Okay. Love to see it.
And we're approaching. These are quarters, right?
Yeah, we got
This is
5
quarterfinals?
We have 5. We have 5 people left. It could be. It's gonna be quarters, I think.
I think it'll be quarters.
There's probably interesting math one could do to know. So, again,
We'll see if Rolleaf can hand him a loss.
what we've been seeing from Rolleaf, he doesn't seem too concerned standing out at range. He's got a decent turnover on it. It's not a consistent thing that he's losing on these fights. They're small, good accuracy. Hard to predict what's going to go down here.
Oh, sweet Rolleaf.
That's one of the other great things we haven't really touched on with the 3 to 5 format is there are a large portion of fighters, maybe you feel this way as well, having a best 2 out of 3, if you lose your first fight and go right into a all or nothing situation, it's a huge headspace issue. Having the option to lose your first fight outright and still have 2 more fights that you could lose before you're out. Good pickup.
Yeah, Felix is throwing the thunder.
This is another thing that Felix is
trying
going
to catch him sleeping. See, that was what you were talking about. Is he waited for Rolleaf to get out of sea and go into rest?
Yep.
And he popped a shot.
Yep, watching that range.
So there he is. He's not blinding himself with a shield. He's being proactive with the blade blocks.
Yep. He's got his arm out in front, but it's in line with the blade. It's going to be really hard to hit.
And I can tell you personally that I have fought Roland many, many times, my glaive against his shield, and Roland has good numbers. He has the perfect shield shape to fight against a glaive,
Yep.
in my opinion.
Works really good. He's well covered. He is kind of letting Felix swing, though.
Okay.
Felix can't really get over that shield. There's
Yeah.
a height disadvantage there.
Yep. Rolleaf staying calm. Nice little head juke there for the slip.
He's understanding that he needs to conserve his energy. There's still a lot of fighting left to go.
Good communication. It was a good shot that landed, but he had already struck Felix, so they agree that the win goes for Rolleaf.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Huzzah for chivalry.
So the win goes to Rolleaf or Felix?
Rolleaf. Rolleaf killed Felix, and as Felix was dying, he threw another shot, but it wasn't. It was post-death.
All right, playing. He's going to reach for the glaive a little bit, see if he can pull Felix offline.
Ooh, he
A
almost
little
sat
bit of
Rolleaf.
a footing issue there.
It is hard to set Rolleaf down like that. Felix is deceptively strong, I think, for his size.
Yes, he's very dense. You can hear that in the sounds of his strikes when they land. You can see how kind of Rolleaf is a little spooked. He's leaning back. He's kind of, his center is a little bit farther back than it was at the beginning of the fight. You see how he's got a backward slant. You can't see through the marshal right now.
He's learned to be. Oh, nope.
Interesting.
I'm not sure what happened there.
That did look like it bobbled his head, and so we've got some communication.
Oh,
Looks
no,
like
there
the
we go.
marshal
There we go.
stepped in.
There we go.
Huzzah.
You must have just missed it. You might have been flinching or something.
Good communication. Good call by the marshals on the field at that point. It's an interesting thing to note. The marshals are not refs. They are not there to call shots for each other or for the combatants, but they can serve a very valuable role in making sure that the combatants at the time are catching things, because it's very easy with adrenaline and speed and the sound to miss a shot or two. Great arm shot from C range.
Applying the hand protection for the buckler, or buckler for the hand protection rather. Let's see if he can charge in and get past that blade and hit him.
And I'm gonna keep harping on this. Look at, like, Felix's stance hasn't changed at all. He's still low. He's still ready.
Get it.
Oh! Not enough power. Not enough power. He's not chambering.
Oh!
Looked like there was
Traded a leg.
Traded a leg for the face. Right there.
Well fought.
Well fought. Roleaf needed a little bit more chamber, and I guess that's a nice segue into what I mean by chamber. Do you want to take
Instead
this?
of just tapping and going forward from the position you're in, you have to chamber and get your body positioning correctly to deliver enough force to hit them hard enough for it to be a kill. He was just kind of slapping him on the side of the helmet, and I also agree that they were not hard enough at all.
Right. But it's easy to get caught up in the moment, and you want to just get that shot out there.
Yes. That was what he was going for earlier, that snap and that power into the side of the head.
And that's also an example of just the gargantuan strength that Roleaf brings to
And
the
the
table.
match. Rolly just took the W. Awesome.
Wow, okay, so
So
Roleaf
that is-
stays in, and Felix goes to dirty.
Yep. So that was Felix's first round loss.
Yep.
That was a beautiful fight. So these are not the quarters.
Yep. Roleaf stays in with one loss. Felix takes his first loss.
Okay, here we go. Zach versus Hawkrell. This will be an interesting fight.
This is going to be one of the deciders of the day right here.
Yeah. Zach also has a ton of experience against Madu, and I'm not sure how much Hawkrell has fought against Zach. So as far as experience goes, I feel like Zach has the advantage.
Zach's probably got the advantage here. Hawk, however, he maintains his calm, cool, collected nature and his weight over his feet. He's moving well. He's making lateral decisions. His accuracy is on point. The numbers say this is a very good fight.
Yep.
All right. Zach likes to start with his relax. He's going to make Hawk establish where he likes to be comfortable. You see how he started to move, brought his stuff to bear, but he's staying right at the edge of where Hawk told him, this is where I want to be. So Zach's going to say, all right, I'll stay here.
Zach opened with a direct shot aimed at the Madu arm, trying to disarm
Beautiful
him.
zone blocking there. Hawk is just kind of testing. He wants to see, are you gonna jerk your shield up? Are you gonna move? Are you gonna try to run away? What do I have to do to make you come towards me? So right away what I'm seeing is Sir Zachariah likes it
Stepped out of it.
Zachariah likes it when the tip of that Madu drops. You'll see kind of a cadence with Hawk where he'll point it out and then he'll kind of like make a little bit of a readjustment.
Oh, we almost got it.
Beautiful exchange there. Both of these fighters are heads up. They're watching their opponents.
Nice little block on
Kind
the
of.
tilt.
That's pretty impressive that Hawk was able to get the power for that leg shot. He was on his back foot. You see the patented Tamiki back defense once again. Got a leg shot out of it. There's a lot of stuff going on. Zachariah also doesn't mind trucking around on his knees. He can take up a lot of space.
He can.
Excellent use of his Madu there. You can't really use it on your knees, but he used it to kind of get the one block he needed and bring his sword in.
Yeah, I remember Sir Decimus when he'd get legged with a Madu, he'd flip the Madu. So the long end is up. That's smart, actually.
That's what's up, actually.
from Zach there.
Yep. Definitely beginning to take its toll on him, but he's still
Shutting that Madi
real
down very well.
snappy. He knows where he needs to be.
He is not getting any of those wide wraps on Hawk. I would stop throwing those.
He's,
Wrist.
Yep. I mean, that is one of the parts of his game, though. You're going to see that come out.
Oh, he got it.
That was pretty slick.
That was pretty slick.
That's also a pretty rare thing to see is the Madu actually land on that front thigh. It's hard to stick. It's a round tube.
Ooh, he almost got that deep overhand right that he's been looking for all day. Oh, bounced into his face. Beautiful
Nice
shot.
slot shot. So what he did there was he's got Hawk moving towards an outside defense with all those outside wraps and those targetings on either side. As soon as those hands come far enough apart, slot shot down the middle.
Found purchase on the cheap.
I can't tell if they're talking about us or not. I haven't heard anyone complain about our volume, so.
Her Majesty told me to tone it down in the beginning. So I did.
All right. Now we're getting into it. Okay, both these fighters they want to win. They respect each other now.
There to where he finally got it.
Beautiful. Came a little higher that time.
Oh, he realized he blocked it with the Madi by accident.
Yeah.
That is great awareness
Great
on
awareness.
Hawker's side.
So he didn't take it because his Madu that he was holding behind his back actually caught the block.
And he realized and took it. You could hear him. That was my Madi, wouldn't it?
Stand you prepared. Stand you prepared. Lay on.
Those little tiny steps.
Yep, Zach is remaining pretty dynamic, whereas Hawk is
Locked in.
falling into.
Oh, he
getting
got him.
set.
He blocked him on that forearm. That was great
little
targeting.
sniper shot.
Yep. The last time he tried that, it landed wrist. He adjusted.
So those are the kinds of shots that you really want to pay attention to your hips for the power transfer. It's not easy to get the power out.
Nice duck. There's the Zach, I know. Oh, he got him on the way in.
Yep, use the Madu. It's real hard to block with one sword in that
Yep.
situation.
Yep.
Gave it a good go, though. Yeah, so far what I'm seeing is people are comfortable staying in the range Master Hawkerl wants them in. And it's really playing to his advantage today.
Yeah, it is.
It's giving him a lot of
It's
opportunities
keeping him
to
in
take
that
shots.
long B, short C range where he loves. There's Zach baiting him in. Testing the range, testing how strong the Madu is.
Ooh, that was a little
was a
bit of
little
an
return.
arm shot.
Oh, he got him. Hooked him in the nose.
Okay.
Okay, there we go.
Great fighting.
Well, let's see what Vogren can do against his grace.
I'm interested to see, is he playing an axe? Oh, okay.
He's fighting offhand, Thunderhead. There's the
You
crows.
can hear the crows cheering on their brother. One of our more exciting households here in the Outlands. Lots of young, excited, really excellent folks doing a lot of good stuff.
Yep.
One might note that His Majesty currently, who is the marshal on the right, is also a crow. And it's good to see solidarity from his household today.
Back in the dreaded bye fighter. I love Vogren. He always puts on a good show.
He's also our warlord. I'm just continuing to love the mace. I love the squirrel.
Ooh, he almost got that overhand right.
Well, and that's one of the things that
prodding
Mordigan is
range.
allowed to do is he can kind of lean. He's got about 1.5 feet of space to play with, leaning forward versus leaning back.
Oh, yeah, came with that return, punished him for coming in like that.
Just a nice 1-inch punch right down the middle.
Yep, Vogrin's playing at good angles, but it's opening up his center slot, which is deadly against Mordigan. Oh, nice little fake sidestep, and
That was my own mace.
watch your framing. Oh, I like the little extra thruster he has on the top of his axe.
Yep.
Oh, you see that head slip?
Ooh, right across the chin. Right across the chin.
Yep. No, that was a great tempo. Came in, little tick, 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 pow.
We're gonna have to write a song about Mordigan if he wins with a mace.
Yeah. I'm gonna tell him it doesn't count because he used his left-hand sword that one time.
You're just contrarian, though.
Only when it's funny.
So this is an excellent example of what I was talking about. Mordigan will, if you're not going to engage and really fight him, he'll step back and stop using any energy. He's got the
Yep.
patience. He's not trying to prove anything to you. He wants you to just try to kill him.
He's kind of the epitome to battle wisdom for me. He knows when to be patient. He knows when to be explosive.
Yep.
He knows what he can block and what he can't. He has good head motion.
And he has the experience to bring it all together. That
Right
looked like
down the
maybe-
middle. Oh, with the double!
I love it.
This is great.
Are you prepared?
This is another interesting thing to note. It's a buy fight, so there's really no incentive that Mordigan has to really use a bunch of energy. Of course,
Except that
as I say that,
It is destructive by fight, so he has to use the energy sometimes if he wants to win.
absolutely. And right as I was saying that, of course, he pops off with this. Yeah. There's not a whole lot of technique to talk about there. That's just called going to work.
Yep.
Which, if that's your thing, mace may be the weapon for you.
Yeah, if you tend to like to go to work, maybe check out a bludgeoning implement such as this. Roll Leaf, Felix, Hawk, and Mordigan.
He's bringing the Madu for...
We're going to find out whether or not Roll Leaf stays in this round. Who's he up against?
Mordigan.
Thank you. Roll Leaf versus Mordigan. This will be a very interesting fight.
Yep, they fought each other a lot. They're also good friends, former roommates. They've talked a lot of fighting. They fought each other a bunch. Lived in the same barony for years. This will be a good fight.
I think a lot of experience is going to come down to this fight. If they continue to play it as they've played their fights so far, it's probably going to be pretty boring. So I doubt for that to go down. So we might see a little bit of some different tactics here because
I think Roleaf's going to try to stay out of the range of that mace by threatening the Madu and try to get some tricky sword work in there on the in.
well, and then but that gives Mordigan all day to just stand there and block. Like to note that it hasn't really gotten any warmer.
They're still well below 40 degrees.
I think that's important to note for the record.
Yeah, this has been a grueling tournament for these guys.
They're doing great. I'm pretty proud of our fighters today. This is some Outlands stuff right here.
41 degrees.
41
We broke
degrees.
40,
We have
gentlemen.
broke 40, so it has gotten slightly
Nice
warmer.
balmy 41.
Okay. Okay.
Oh, if he had gone a little bit further, he'd have got that.
So right there we saw the experience of Mordigan. He knew he wasn't in range. He knew he couldn't extend it out. Kept working on the move. I love that. They were Mordigan. Oh, I didn't do that. No, Zach.
Morgan's not the type to make the same mistake twice and see how he adjusts his end.
No, he is not
Well, he
clean.
was ready for that offside too.
He took a loss to Zachariah. They look like halved.
Yep. A little boot to the cheek.
Interesting sound. So yeah, we are kind of seeing a pretty solidly kind of B fight, B range fight. It looks like, you know, Mordigan definitely has the control as far as when they move forward or back, but Rolleaf definitely has the initiative on shots thrown.
There it was again.
He's not
Right
turning
on the
it
cheek.
over in the combinations though. He's not keeping his block in the middle. With something like the mace, you can swing it very quickly inside without hemming yourself up. It's not going to be enough to just weather the storm and block. You need to give your opponent some reason not to throw. Because if you just let them go, the turnaround is far faster than your sword's going to be. Great block.
Again.
I'm really enjoying what we're seeing is their...
Rolleaf out.
Yep, Rolleaf is down, Mordigan moves forward. Great interplay between the fighters moving with each other. They were staying very much in lockstep. They were in the range they were happy with. They were trading blows. We just saw a little bit more experience from Mordigan knowing when to go for that last fight.
This will be a very good test for Hawk.
This is going to be really interesting.
Yeah. If he can explode past Felix's spear point, maybe he can get something done. It is really hard to block all of Felix's spear work. His point control is insane. His ability to throw multiple shots to different quadrants. His fakes are convincing. He's got a lot going for him in this fight.
Also, if he spreads out at all, those hands come far enough apart, Felix is going to shoot that gap and butt spike him in the face.
Yeah. Yeah, it's going to be
starting off with a very straight line defense. Hawk's covering his center line with the Madu. He's pulled his right arm a little bit off center because he doesn't really need it. He knows he's fully out of range. He's not hitting with his sword.
the thrust. His body language tells me he wants to jump in and get him with a stab.
I think he wants Felix to do something first. He's recognizing he's in the corner.
Oh, that's flat. All the power came out of that. He moved out of the power. Oh, but he got him somewhere. Maybe top spiked him. I couldn't see from my angle.
Did not see what the death blow on that fight was, but
Top
very
spike.
quick exchange. Very quick exchange. Which you're often going to see, right? They don't have a lot of defensive tools in this fight. Okay, very offensively oriented weapons, and so the fights, the actual engagements are going to be quick and decisive.
Felix needs to start peppering with multi-shots. Hawk's overextending on his blocks, but he's letting him get away with it, so we'll see how long it takes one of them to adjust.
Another thing to think about with these longer fights is the longer the fight goes, the more information you're giving your opponent.
Over the top.
A little bit of a stumble there, I think, from Hawk as well.
He was deciding whether or not it was good enough, and then the chest thrust sealed the deal.
Not sure if he's favoring that ankle a little bit. Watch the right leg on Hawk.
He seems to be standing all right. I know that he tweaked one of his legs at Gulf Wars not that long ago.
Okay.
Dang ravine battle, man, I'll tell you.
It's been the death of many a young boy.
Yep, C9's pulling it out so he can't interfere with his blade as much. Oh,
decisive. I want everybody to go back and watch that step. The amount of range that Hawkrul took back with one single step allowed him to
lightly
throw.
pushing the thrust off center.
Exactly. He didn't give Felix a bunch of feedback, positive feedback to resist against. By the time Felix knew that his shot hadn't landed, it was too late to do something different.
Yeah. Hawk's ability to take and give ground deceptively is incredible. Wins a lot of fights.
Well, there goes all of my hopes and dreams. I was really hoping I would get to see patented Felix backup seal clubbing, but
he didn't do that to anybody today.
well, and now his backup, the scabbard was giving him trouble, so they cut it off.
Just send it right there.
Yep.
Fake high, send low.
My esteemed co-host is certainly not unduly biased towards glaive fighters,
I mean, team peasant weapon all day.
right? No, and you know, it's a long and storied tradition in the Outlands.
Almost got him there. Nice little return block. Oh, for the double. Beautiful fight.
Again, excellent range work, but also really good technique. Hawkrul is able to get that hip snap in motion in the fight, and so that's twice now where he's thrown a shot from a place that it doesn't look like he should be able to generate enough power, so there's no defense there.
Was that a shoulder?
I think
No,
that
he
was
caught the
shield.
block on the buckler.
I think
nice
that was buckler.
move.
Yep.
Okay.
Great duck. There you go. Felix reaching
See,
a little
he's
bit
smart
more.
enough to not keep chasing him. He knows he's running into that butt spike.
Yep. I do think Felix
Felix is having to do some
is
advanced
leaving.
calculus here. He's
He
not
is
used to
leaving a
people
few
wanting
things
to
on the
stay out
table.
there.
He could probably be shooting for that face a few more times here.
Yeah, and I feel if he sent a screamer towards the thigh, it would knock the Madu out of the way. He's not bracing his Madu on his knee like those guys would.
I think he is pretty good at sucking it back for that. He grounds it off on his Casca Grieve or whatever. Ooh,
There
okay,
it was.
okay.
Nice block.
All right. Another double kill! Felix, man, Felix is tearing through the reserve energy of his opponents all day. Double kills, going all the way to the 5 fights, and he's still looking strong.
Yeah.
Hawk's got some adjustments to make, but he's still looking pretty good
Got
too.
up there. It did look like he was favoring a leg. I can't tell which one.
Our king is taking this very seriously.
Here we go. Felix.
Look at this move. He's moving like a hunter. He's looking at his prey. Hawk does not look like he is prey. He's in the corner, but he's primed.
There it was.
I think
Okay.
we knew this was going to be an issue.
Okay, this is it. This one's for all the marbles.
Yeah, it is 2-2.
Are you prepared?
We knew this was going to be an issue going in when we heard about the tournament format. Like, there's a lot of fighting happening, and even when they're not throwing shots.
That recovery of his hand right there was very impressive. Felix's control over his weapon and knowing
It's starting to look like Felix is a lot more comfortable with what he thinks Hawk is going to do. Not quite.
Oh, he caught him with the buckler.
He was just
He caught him with
right
the buckler.
out of the range. It definitely went past his buckler. I think it was right out of the range, and he pinched it. Great Cobra strike though.
These guys are cool customers, man.
Yep. Not seeing. Okay.
Oh, there it was.
Hawkrul waved him off. He said it was not good. Huzzah for
He
chivalry.
called his own shot flat.
We should be doing that more often.
Absolutely.
It's
Pay
not
attention to
on your
points.
opponent to tell you when you didn't do it right. That's your responsibility. Huzzah. Hazan, well fought.
So is that Felix out?
Felix is out, I believe.
Okay.
Hockrell moves forward. Great day. We're having a little bit of talks back and forth here. I believe their majesties have some words for Master Hockrell, who is showing himself very well. He's been calm, cool, collected. He's demonstrated vast improvements in pretty much all of the ways that I thought he needed to improve. Historically, he's been pretty easy to push. Didn't have good options for dealing with being pressed. And what we're seeing from him today, he's working the Erik. He's moving laterally.
He's very aware of when he's getting cornered. He's circling out well. Like you pointed out earlier, when he did that full lap around somebody and ended up right back in the starting position, controlling the center.
Yep.
He's doing great.
He's not getting overwhelmed. He's staying sharp. We're gonna stay where we are, but here's another one of our traditions. We usually have all of the chivalry who are currently in attendance kind of kneel around the outside of the Erik to bear witness to the final round. We're about to find out who the heirs of the Outlands will be, the Dreadlord and Lady of all Argonia.
Getting photobombed by a finalist.
We're getting photobombed by a finalist. Woohoo! Look at that. Looks like some people are kind of getting zhuzhed up. There might be a little bit of a rest period for the combatants to get a little bit of water.
Because again, our final round is best
4 out of 7. I'm hoping that we get all the way to the end. I'd love to see a nice back and forth. I want to see some fights that we can extract some information from. We've been seeing some pretty good communication and calibration all day. Even the stuff that isn't at where we would love it to be, I think the conversation is there, and that's the best way to move forward. So when in doubt, just ask the question, and don't be so enamored with winning that you can't recognize, like our fighters like Hawk and some of the other guys today have done, is don't let your opponent take something that's not good.
Yeah, absolutely. We saw Hawk call himself flat. We saw Benjamin call himself light. That speaks to good discourse. I think that emotion is the death of discourse. You should try to approach those kinds of things with less emotion and more logic.
As clinically,
what did I do wrong?
as
What did
possible.
you do wrong? Let's talk about that so we can both do better next time.
And we're back.
Hockrell stands undefeated.
Hawk's clean.
As previously agreed, the format for the final round shall be best 4 out of 7.
That's 4 out of 7.
Hockrell wins, ends the tournament. If Morgan wins, the will begin.
So Morgan has to beat Hockrell 8 times to win.
Please. There may be someone on members of the order of defense here present to witness this final fight. I think it goes without saying that these two fighters have thought honorably today. They have much skill. The reason that this tourney format was selected was to represent the path of what it takes to be a good sword fighter. It is long and incredibly hard to do.
Mace fighter.
Look at yourself. See what you're doing wrong.
Get it in while you can. It's your one day.
On this field of combat, Earl Morgan, Joseph Mangia, Faces, Master Hockrell Honeybug, fighters, make use of the appropriate salutes like the winners round of the Outlands. Lay on!
We were doing so good. All right, so this is a grueling process.
He's too comfortable.
He thought he had the range.
Yep.
Well, he probably won't have that issue again.
He doesn't make mistakes twice.
So if Mordigan is to be triumphant today, he's going to need to beat Hawkgirl 2 consecutive 4 out of 7 matches.
Casual, just block with that shield.
Yep.
I'm just enamored with Morgan's shield work, honestly.
Economy of motion.
So wise. So
What we're really gonna see is how Hawk keeps it together through the long haul. He's got a lot of work to do.
Yep. The other benefit of the short hafted mace is the fact that there's less angle for them to cut off. Hawk put up a perfect A-frame there that would have blocked that if it was a sword shot.
But it came
And the
down
mace
underneath the roof
Yep.
because it's only about 25 inches long.
Oh, he doesn't even want the buckler. He's like, give it to
No,
me.
he's saying fight. Let's fight.
Fight me.
Do it. Retain your advantage.
Oh, look at his slick little
Get him.
leg evasion there.
You're good.
There it was.
Almost.
That was a good example
Almost
of-
let Mordigan come in on that.
Yeah, that was a good example of how hard it is to land that leg shot with the Madu. Like Hawk's good at it, Boleslav's good at it, but it is hard to get it to stick.
Any kind of movement with the leg will cause that to glance off. The ranging is weird because a lot of times you can't tell where the pants end and the leg armor is. Hawk's found some success reaching for that left
block with
shield
the
arm,
gauntlet.
so we're going to see a little bit more of that 1-2. Good death! Huzzah! All right.
2-1.
Now we're seeing some of the disadvantages to the cool style that Mordigan brings to bear. His defense is very tight, and he doesn't use a lot of energy, but he is standing up straight, and so he can't move with the same ability Hawk can. Get out.
Yep, there's so much power in that mace. He's just flailing that Madu out of the way.
Yep. But Hawk is staying centered. Beautiful. I don't know if you could see that.
That's
through
3
Mordigan.
wins, dude.
But Hawk threw he got the offside block with the Madu so quickly. All right, I believe we stand, what?
3 wins to Hawk. Yep, 3 wins to Hawk, 1 win to Morgan.
Oh, I guess we missed one.
It was 3-1.
Well, there you have it, folks.
That was it.
Outlands Spring Crown, 40 degrees, snowing.
20 mile an hour winds.
2024 Master Hawkgirl the Honey Bun wins for Adrian de Calais in an excellent and grueling contest of will and might.
It's actually Adrian of Monster Hall, which means our queen and our princess are both of Monster Hall right now.
Oh, thank you for
Isn't that cool?
correcting me.
You know I love to do it.
Yep, I do. So, I don't know that there's... Do we need a recap? Are we on that tip?
I don't think so. I think we can do that in post.
Absolutely.